hi everyone. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to day 2 of round 3 of Ferrari Challenge here at Spielberg in Austria. We are looking forward very much to our Shell and Shell Am drivers taking to the track at this strictly awesome venue. There you can see the cars lining up on the grid, ready to go racing. Let's give you our formal and official welcome right now. It is, in my opinion, one of the most scenic backdrops to a racing circuit anywhere in the world, certainly Europe. We've been to Le Castellet and Mugello. We're here at Spielberg, which is the shortest track on our calendar for 2026, before we head off to the longest track on our calendar for 2026, as we support the Le Mans 24-hour. Then we go to Portimao and Budapest and Barcelona, so it is a fantastic calendar for 2026. The weather conditions for today look really good. 20 degrees the track temperature, air temperature at 12 degrees. And I have to say, the weather here at Spielberg has been better for both the race days than ever we could have imagined, because it was certainly predicted to be more rainy than it has been for race days. But we've been blessed with decent weather as we look at the car that will be going from pole position for our Shell drivers, and that is the local driver, Ernst Kirchmayr, who drives for the Kessel Racing organization, who put the car on pole position in qualifying this morning. And he will be ready to champ at the bit to get going. Now, he was on the podium yesterday in race 1, but it was a P3. He would have loved to have taken the win. He crossed the line first, but he didn't avoid the wrath, if you will, of race control, where he took a penalty, and therefore Ernst Kirchmayr not taking the win yesterday. Today, however, he will be hoping to right the wrongs of yesterday. Alongside him is the Penske Sportwagen Hamburg driver Sven Schirmer, who will be champing at the bit as they head towards turn number 1 to put himself ahead of Ernst Kirchmayr. But no one knows this track better than Ernst. Being a local driver, we've got some 23 cars out there on track, so it's going to be something of a funnel at turn 1 as you ride uphill here at the Spielberg circuit. We're looking at the 132 car now of Tibor Valent, the Rosso Corsa driver, who's hugely experienced in the Ferrari Challenge. He's going from P3 on the grid. And may I mention that the best of the Shell Am drivers, because we have 2 classes in the one race here, the best of the Shell Am drivers is Jean Rieu. Is a Kessel Racing driver. Here we can see von Skeltermar. He's 4th fastest within the Shell drivers. He had a terrible time of it yesterday because he was in this position here on the grid, and then his car was taken off the grid because he had an issue and unfortunately was not able to race, which is a great shame. But I spoke to him just over lunchtime, and he's hoping to do well today. Here is Jean Rieu, who I was talking about a few moments ago. He is a Kessel Racing driver and a Shell Am driver. Now, the black strip across the top of the windscreen indicates that Jean Rieu is a Shell Am driver. If they have a yellow strip across the top of the windscreen on their respective car, it means they are a Shell driver. So the mix of Shell and Shell Am drivers together in the one race. They, of course, are scored independently. Delighted to have here this weekend our Ferrari driver ambassador, and that is Giancarlo Fisichella, who took a pole position here in Formula 1.
We are here in Salzburg. Got great memories here in this circuit. It's a nice circuit to drive. Not a lot of corners, but it's a very challenging circuit, especially because there are a few long straight circuits with a very hard braking point. And the characteristic, especially of the weather, is very variable. It's changing quite a lot very quickly. You can find the sun, you can find the wet condition. So it's important to be ready with the car setup and also with the drive styling. Le Mans 24 Hours is it's a unique race. I got a great memories also there. I won in 2012 and 2014. And it's one of my favorite circuits. over 13 kilometers with a lot of kind of different corners. It's important for the driver, learn the circuit quite a lot, especially with the videos or in a telemetry, because to learn it it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
Great to hear from Giancarlo Fisichella, who I was with just a few moments ago, and he was talking there about Le Mans, of course, where we go next after this weekend with our Ferrari Challenge cars, with 2 support races on the 24-hour bill. Masaru Yoneda's gone P3 in class. Now, it was a brilliant job from Masaru Yoneda on the podium yesterday, along with Charles Chan and Jean Roux, and interestingly, they were going 1, 2, 3 in class. Alois Meyer, there he is. You can see the smile on his face. I was chatting to him at a presentation we did late this morning, and the joy that you get from drivers when they are racing in the Ferrari Challenge and they're part of this fantastic racing series is, it's really infectious, to be honest, and Alois is a great example of just how happy he is to be racing in the Ferrari Challenge. Tibor Valent then standing by to get going. The races are 30 minutes plus 1 lap in terms of duration. And this circuit is 4.3 kilometers long. 10 turns, 3 left, 7 right. And the huge elevation change from here, where we are now on the start-finish straight, up to the turn 3 is 63.5 meters. Ernst Kirchmeier, pensive then before the race gets underway. 30 minutes plus 1 lap, as I mentioned. He will be hoping to vault 2 steps on the podium today and take a win rather than the P3 that he achieved in the race yesterday. And let's take a look at some highlights right now as we bring you more from the Ferrari Challenge. So Adelaide and the Bend was the scene of the latest incarnation of the Ferrari Challenge Australasia. Ferrari Challenge, of course, reaching out all around the world, and delighted to be here at the Bend in Adelaide. Adelaide is maybe 90 or 100 kilometers away from the Bend, but nonetheless it always promotes fantastic racing, and great job done by all the drivers then. Race 1 was done, and then quickly into race 2, and great opportunity to really stretch your legs on this circuit, which is finding enormous favour with our Ferrari Challenge drivers in the Australasia series. And then it was off to the UK, where Gilbert Yates would be going from pole position with his son Bradley Yates right alongside him, and sure enough, Bradley Yates was able to keep his son held at bay. There were some brilliant moves going on, and Mike Dewhurst up into the Trofeo Pirelli went for something of a spin, but Gilbert Yates would see the checkered flag to right the wrongs of his first outing, which came at La Cassale. And again, in the second race, it was the all-Yates affair at the front with Gilbert and Bradley Yates. And again, Gilbert Yates able to stretch his legs. Everyone else was doing the chasing because he would make it 2 out of 2. At the Snetterton circuit, Chris Baton being very successful in Coppa Shell. And Coppa Shell is what we're racing with right now, here with 30 seconds before the formation lap gets underway. So I was telling you about the circuit then, 4.3 kilometers. Let's give you the diagram. 10 turns, 3 left, 7 right. Elevation change, 63.5 meters from the start finish to turn 3. It's about an hour from Graz, maybe 2 hours 15 from Vienna, and 2 hours 35 from Salzburg. Situated, of course, in a mountainous, forested state in southern Austria known as Styria, which is also renowned for its wine, its spas, and its castles. Right on cue then, the cars are led off on their formation lap standing by. I will be bringing you the grid in full in just a moment, and you'll see who the runners and riders are. Alexei Komarov going from P23 on the grid. Then we find Lisa Clark and Tommy Lindroth, P22 and P21. Alwas Meyer and Paolo Scudieri, they are on the 10th row of our grid, with Henrik Kamstrup and Ken Sato, P18 and P17. Leon Rindbeek and Stephen Earl are on the 8th row. It's P16 and 15 respectively for those two drivers, with Fritz Müller and Boris Gideon going from P14 and P13. Khaled Budai going from P12, really good qualifying, and Shintaro Akatsu alongside. Karl Runefeld and Giuseppe Romelli are on the 5th row of the grid, and then on the 4th row we find Masaru Yaneda and Eric Chung. To the 3rd row, it's Charles Chan and Von Skeltermar. To the 2nd row, we're getting to the sharp end right now. It's Jean Roux and Tibor Valent. And then on the front row of our race 2 starting grid, it's Sven Schirmer. But on pole position, it is Ernst Kirchmeier, who is going from P1. Let's hear from our pole sitter.
A great day. Double pole position in the home racetrack with Spielberg. It's really, for me, it makes a lot for me. I'm very happy about it, and I never had a pole position 2 times at Spielberg, so it's really special. For the race, I have to take care of the track limits, so this is the learning from yesterday. I will try my best, maybe to win the race or to reach the podium. Thank
you. Track limits certainly bit Ernst Kirchmeier on the bottom yesterday and caused him to lose 2 places. But as he says, he will learn from that today. Richard Meals, safety car, leading the cars away. Delighted to welcome alongside me my German broadcast colleague, and that is delighted Oliver Fendel is here. I was expecting Giancarlo Fisichella, but he's had to dive into race control. You are a fine substitute alongside me here. Oliver, Ernst Kirchmeier is going to learn the lessons from yesterday very quickly, isn't he?
Thank you very much for, again, joining you. Big footsteps for me instead of Giancarlo Fisichella here. Yes, he learned already, and what we can expect, that is something I can bring to you. He has to defend now because Sven Schirmer wants to overtake already with the start.
And start is underway, and I think Ernst Kirchmeier got a good getaway. Sven Schirmer as well. Tibor Valent is trying to squeeze Von Skeltermar, I think, on the inside there. It is a funnel going into turn number 1. Sven Schirmer runs very wide. The man that did it very, very well, who knows this track so well, is Ernst Kirchmeier. Sven Schirmer now will have another go going into turn number 3 as they run through the kink, which is turn 2, heading up towards turn 3. Right now they go 3 abreast behind with Charles Chan in that mix. Sven Schirmer, Ernst Kirchmeier, they go through okay. Eric Chung, I think, and has had a brilliant start. He holds on to that P3 place as they head down towards turn number 4 now, and he's going to be threatening Sven Schirmer very, very quickly. And then behind them is Jean Roux, Karl Runefeld. So all the cars through turn number 4. All the way around the outside there is Masaru Yaneda trying to go around the outside, and that's always difficult because you've got that gravel trap which is pulling at you like gravity almost, trying to encourage your car to go through the stones, Oliver.
The most surprising thing is that we have no bigger contacts in this first lap so far. That's really good, and it's a phenomenal start of a Jong at this moment, and we can see at the top that maybe these 3 guys at the top of the field, will maybe fight for the victory, and it's not to be seen who's the winner. And in the end, it's a challenge with the tires.
Turn number 1, and every driver going through turn number 1 is under investigation. So race control are taking a look at that. You saw the graphics on the screen there. But you can see that Ernst Kirchmeier and Sven Schirmer, both of them are trying to stretch their legs right now as Jean Roux is being chased now by Charles Chan. Now this is the battle that's going on in the Shell Am category. Charles Chan and Jean Roux. Charles Chan in the blue 296, and they're both being chased by Karl Runefeld, who is of course a Shell driver. You can identify that by the yellow strip across the top of the windscreen. Masaru Yaneda is going to be able to take advantage potentially here and get right alongside Charles Chan, but Charles Chan was able just to close the door. And there was almost an opportunity there for Masaru Yaneda to go through. Now, big loser at the start of the race was Tibor Valent. I'm looking forward to seeing a replay of the start to find out exactly where Tibor Valent lost out there. And you can see he's really struggling with that car at the moment. As there you can see Charles Chan and Masaru Yaneda, they are both chasing down the car of Karl Runefeld. As Sven Schirmer is almost now into the clutches, if you will, of Eric Chung.
Definitely, he is, and that's not the plan he had. He wanted to take the advantage at the start to go away, but it was not possible. As well, as you mentioned, Tibor Valent, who really struggles. And
Did
in
you
my
see
opinion,
what happened to Tibor at the beginning of the race?
no, I didn't see, but I guess it's the tire temperature. I think there's not the tire on the temperature and not on the pressure they wanted to have, because he's already not sliding, he's dancing in some way to bring heat into the tire.
Yeah, of course, you start with pressures which are going to allow the Eric Chung. Oh, just took a look at the inside of Sven Schirmer. He's taking a look at the outside now. He's trying to sell Sven Schirmer something of a dummy here. Will he go to the inside now? Eric Chung chasing down Sven Schirmer. Yeah, basically what happens is you probably start the race with lower pressures than you want. They're lower than optimum. The reason being, as the tyres heat up, so the pressure increases, and therefore you get up to the optimum tyre temperature during the early stages of this race. So I completely understand what you're saying, that the car becomes a bit dancey at the beginning of the race because the tyres not up to where you need them to be.
Yeah, that's cool. That could be a reason why he's not contending at the beginning of the race with the top three. But that's something.
Whoa!
Whoa! Eric Chung again.
Eric Chung just losing the back end of the car, and good avoidance by a number of drivers and good recovery by Eric Chung to get the car out of the way. But I could see no reason why that happened.
Tires.
Okay.
Cold tires, I think, over pushing the car.
Well, he's recovered really quickly. Fair play, Eric Chung. He's running back out there on track. Let's see it again in replay.
Yeah, well, it's classical oversteering.
Okay. Well, good recovery by Eric. Well done. He's dropped down the order. And there's his driver coach, Daniele Diamato, who himself is a former Challenge star. Well, for Sven Schirmer, it's... here we go. Let's take a look at it. I'm really interested in Tibor Valent. So he had von Skeltermar with him right at the start of the race. Eric Chung going around the outside. Another driver going around the outside. So nothing untoward necessarily. He just dropped places, didn't he?
Yeah, wrong line. Not really. Yeah, he hit a bit the curb, the sausage on the right side, but that's not the reason to lose so many positions.
See it from on board here, and
nice
on the grass. Oh!
Could be happy that there was the tarmac again, not longer grass.
Some of the onboard shots that we're able to bring you really express just how difficult it is to get the start right. And out is the 172 car. You can see that now. And that is Giuseppe Ramelli. Car number 181 is going to get a time penalty for 20 seconds for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. And that's Karl Runefeld. As around has gone Masaru Yaneda.
Well, it's interesting because maybe you think it's raining a bit because they are all sliding around, but it's completely dry. And the next one out there, that's the time penalty. But here you see this one.
See, turn one, and that was right at the start, and that's Alexei Komarov.
And the car was smoking on the rear. I think there is a tire problem on the right side, on the back.
Okay, there's Sven Schirmer now. The car in front, immediately in front, is Alexei Komarov, who is effectively a back marking car. So we've got a yellow flag at turns 4 and 5, and this is Ernst Kirchmeier sets the fastest lap. He is leading the race. For our Shalam drivers is Sean Roux, Charles Chan, but Boris Gideon is up to P3 by dint of Masaru Yaneda finding the barriers, you may recall. We saw that just a couple of moments ago. But leading the race is Ernst Kirchmeier with a margin of 3.4 seconds to the good. Regrettably, Alwas Meyer. He had been into the pit lane, but he's making his way back out of the pit lane once again right now, and the yellow flag remains at turns 4 and 5. When we get to turns 4 and 5, hopefully we'll be able to see exactly what's going on there, but we're just closing out a lap, aren't we, at turn 10 with Ernst Kirchmeier, Sven Schirmer, and there is the, as I say, the back-marking car of Alexei Komarov. Right, Ernst out on his own. He's got 3.5 seconds to the good over Sven Schirmer, so he can just focus on everything that he needs to do and nailing every apex. And bear in mind that car number 181, you can see the bars of red against his name on the graphics on the left-hand side of your screen. That basically means that 20-second time penalty that will be added to his race time at the end of the race. So that elevates Tibor Valent into P3, and there is Tibor
himself.
Yes, there is Tibor Valent getting past the car of Charles Chan right now.
Now we should see the reason why it's yellow flagged. No, not here.
So
not here.
It's turns 4 and 5. We're at turn 4 now.
Cannot see anything.
I just wonder whether perhaps there was a bit of fluid down there.
Could be.
Maybe, and that's just the warning to the drivers, because we saw some cars slipping and sliding. Ollie Fendel, and I wonder if that's the reason why. It is only a wonder. Right, car number 133 has got a time penalty to come. Now that's Charles Chan, who is second in the Coppa Shell Am drivers, so he gained an advantage at turn 1. He's going to pick up a time penalty of just 5 seconds, but that means that elevates Boris Gideon and potentially Paolo Scudieri into provisional podium places. It seems ludicrous to talk about podiums already, because we've still got 20.5 minutes plus 1 lap to do, but their race control take a look at everything, and they're already making decisions.
Took the yellow flag in, and everything is green flagged now, so I think you are absolutely right that they just checked if there's a fluid on the tarmac for 2 laps, and now it should be better, and so they try to give all in the hands to the drivers at these 2 stages of the lap.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's probably what was going on. There you can see Charles Chan now, the car right ahead of Charles Chan. Alwas Meyer it is. So actually, I'm absolutely wrong. Because the liveries are very similar, I think it was Alwas Meyer that I was looking at, not Alexei Komarov back marking. So apologies to Alexei, apologies to Alwas Meyer. I think it was the car of Alwas Meyer that I was looking at, having returned, having been in the pit lane.
Yeah, but that's a challenge to figure out really the right car when they are nearly similar with delivery, and in this case it's really tough to see also when a lot of things going on the racetrack, then you just have the chance for 1 second.
Well, and I was kind of confused, because hang on a minute, Alexei Komarov is running P8. How can it be Alexei Komarov? And sure enough, it isn't. Here's Paolo Scudieri and von Skeltemar. Now, Paolo Scudieri is a Shell Am driver, but von Skeltemar has got by Paolo Scudieri. So von Skeltemar then in the 177 car, who is running P5 in class, needs to get on terms with Tibor Valent to make any progress within class. And at the moment it is Ernst Kirchmeier, Sven Schirmer and Tibor Valent who are the top 3, having discounted Karl Runefeld, who has got that big time penalty. There is Cyril, who is von Skeltemar's partner, looking on, and there is Paolo Scudieri. And in replay then, there is Alexei Komarov. So definitely Alexei Komarov, and Alexei Komarov there in a battle with Ken Sato, and Ken Sato getting the better, and that's how von Skeltemar got past Paolo Scudieri. And Cyril watches on and will break out into a smile when she sees Fons go by. Or maybe she won't. Here is Ernst
She's
Kirchmeier.
waiting. She's experienced enough to wait until the checkered flag.
The gap is 5.5 seconds between Ernst Kirchmeier and Sven Schirmer.
And here we have the situation, scenario 2, they
Yes.
call it, to wait from the Sven Schirmer perspective, to wait and let him go, to maybe let him over push. And that's something he maybe gets now also in his ears, that he should drive his own pace, his own race, not concentrate too much at the race leader, because they hope that he over push, and the last 10 to 8 minutes plus 1 lap, the tires will go down.
Well,
That's something I heard.
That's a theory, isn't it? Andrea Gagliardini, who is the driver coach to Sven Schirmer, who will try and guide him and advise him to the best of his ability. And he has plenty of ability, no doubt about it. Here's Alexei Komarov at the back end of the car, looking just a little bit loose as Eric Chung is trying to, of course, refight his way back up the order following his off and spin just a little while ago. He's got Stephen Earle, Dr. Stephen Earle right in front of him. Right behind him is the car of Henrik Kamstrup and then Tommy Lindroth. But here is Alexei Komarov then. So Kirchmeier with 5.6 seconds to the good. Then it is Karl Rinefeld. Then Jean Roux and Tibor Valent. There's Ken Sato, and here comes Stephen Earle then on Alexei Komarov, but not quite able to make that stick. It's the battle going on for P8 in the Shell Am drivers. And Alexei Komarov and Dr. Stephen Earle. Dr. Stephen Earle from Texas in the USA, and interestingly, our North American cousins racing in the Ferrari Challenge just this weekend at the Circuit of the Americas, as Dr. Stephen Earle puts it to the inside of Alexei Komarov. It's job done, overtake secured, and next in the target sights is going to be Eric Chung lining up Alexei Komarov, but he's got Henrik Kamstrup right behind him. So Eric Chung taking a look at the inside now. However, not quite close enough, but if he can get a good exit off the turn, he could set something up for going into turn number 4, but he wasn't quite close enough, I don't think. Right behind him is Henrik Kamstrup trying to have a go also, and behind Henrik Kamstrup is Tommy Lindroth in the all-red 296 Challenge. Well, that was Alexei Komarov running a bit wider, and that opens up the opportunity potentially here for Eric Chung to have a go. And Eric Chung does go through, and he was advantaged by virtue of the fact that Alexei Komarov just got a little out of shape, Oliver. As Daniele Diamato, Eric Chung's driver coach, looks on, and he'll be pleased with the progress he's making, trying to claw himself back up the order following the rear end of the car overtaking the front end of the car as it did in the early stages of the race.
Yeah, and that's, I think, something he tells his driver to stay calm, to be focused. And it works, and Alexei Komarov, has to concentrate himself as well, because now he's in a battle and loses positions and meters, and that's something that brings you out of your rhythm, and that makes it not easier for you to be in the next fight, because you are thinking what you've done wrong the last time, and again maybe you do the same mistake again. And that's something therefore you have a driver coach that you really mentally reset yourself.
And talking of driver coaches, we saw just a moment ago Stefano Gai, who is driver coach to Paolo Scudieri, as Shintaro Akatsu is really pressuring Paolo Scudieri right now, and Shintaro Akatsu almost to the inside of Paolo Scudieri. Now, this is the fight that's going on for P5 in the Coppa Shell Am race. Bear in mind that Charles Chan, with that time penalty against his name, means that for the likes of Boris Gideon and Paolo Scudieri, depending on what the gaps are at the end of the race, well, who knows? It could be a fight that's on for a podium place here. So, there's von Skeltermar. There is Paolo Scudieri and Shintaro Akatsu, the fight that we were talking about just a few moments ago. We run the telemetry on their cars as well, which we're able to bring you all the information that we can in broadcast here, live from the Spielberg circuit in Austria. heading up
Akatsu's
towards turn
also dancing, looking where a gap maybe can be created. Yeah, and you see Scudieri on the left-hand side, above the curb, loses 2 or 3 tenths, but it's enough uphill to have not the speed, and then you get problems with the Ineko Kosaram driver, and he's getting closer and closer.
It was really interesting to note there, and it was a great example, Ollie Fendel, that you can take different lines through turn number 1, and you can sometimes make them work. And I feel that also applies to turn 3, also where we are right now, where you can use the inside, the outside. Sounds like I know what I'm talking about. It's just that really isn't the case. It's the case that I've seen. I can't think how many races here over the years at this circuit, and I've seen how the turn 3 can really be used.
The race deciding part of one lap. That's if you go there with the wrong line, normally you can decide everything, especially at the beginning of a race when the field is really close.
It's a fair point. Alexei Komarov is able to show a clean pair of heels to Henrik Kamstrup and Tommy Lindroth, and he is kind of on his own there. And there is Henrik Kamstrup then, who is running P10 at the moment. Eric Chung, now he's got away from the cork in the bottle that was Alexei. He's able to get up the road a little bit, and it's been a really good recovery from Eric Chung, to be honest, after the incident earlier on. He's running P8 in class. Jean Roux leads for our Coppa Chalam drivers with Charles Chan P2, Boris Gideon P3, but Charles Chan is P2 on track, and the time penalty is calculated at the end of the race. He may find himself not in that P2 position.
Maybe not, but it's quite close. 5 seconds, it's nearly exactly the gap between. But also a strong performance from Boris Gideon, who had some issues, some moments this weekend before.
Absolutely,
and great recovery from him.
It was a great recovery from him, and also, and he actually implored you and I to say on the air how grateful he was to his team for being able to repair the car and get the car back out again and perform as well as it is performing. And he said that's down to them, it's not down to me. So very humble when racing drivers credit and are very conscious of the fact that it is this team effort. And Tommy Lindroth now is really beginning to hound Henrik Kamstrup. Now, Tommy Lindroth driving the 117 car, the all-red car, is almost on the back of Henrik Kamstrup, which is the
Nordic Well.
Yes, that 296 Challenge car that looks resplendent, doesn't it? But Tommy Lindroth, great to see Tommy back racing again. And he takes a look at the inside of Henrik Kamstrup, and here is Paolo Scudieri. And also the car of Shintaro Akatsu going past the Alwas Meyer car, and out of turn 1 onto the straight with the kink now. The kink is turn 2, and then into turn 3. The turn that I was saying has 1 or 2 little lines that you can take here. Shintaro Akatsu, is he close enough to be able to take the inside? Paolo Scudieri. Now, he could be in strife here because Shintaro Akatsu's got a really good exit. He's got good momentum. If he can get to the inside of Paolo Scudieri, this could be a change. But Paolo Scudieri, just in time, is able to close the door to maintain that P4 place. But I tell you what, that was close, because Shintaro Akatsu got really good momentum out of turn 3.
In that moment, I wouldn't say close the door. He opened the door that the car gets bright and he cannot overtake, because that was first the move on the right-hand side to block him. And then Akatsu tried it on the left-hand side, and exactly the same direction Scudieri went to. And this is active defending.
Firm, fair, fraught racing. We love it. The Ferrari Challenge with 8.5 minutes remaining, plus 1 lap here. Jean Roux, Charles Chan, Boris Gideon, and then Paolo Scudieri. But Charles Chan with that time penalty. But taking a look at the gaps in terms of the time, Charles Chan may have nullified that penalty. Here comes Shintaro Akatsu now having another go at Paolo Scudieri. This is into turn number 1. So let's see if Shintaro Akatsu is going to be able to do it this time around through turn 3. He's rehearsed it once and rehearsed it really well. I don't think he's as close this time to Paolo Scudieri as he was. He takes a look at the inside, he scrubs off the speed, I don't think no, and he just clipped the curb on the inside, which means his exit out of turn 3 was properly compromised, and you can see that compromised to the tune of 6 or 7 car lengths. Actually, that's how much time he lost, Oliver Finn.
Now he has to look backwards because he has lost a lot of meters compared to Paolo Scudieri, and yeah, he tried too much. Then he really braked hard.
To be fair to him, he really braked hard to ensure there was no collision.
Yeah.
Credit to him for that. It would have been all too easy, wasn't it? Wouldn't it be, to make contact? But he didn't do that. He dialed out of it, and I respect him for that.
When you remember comparable situation yesterday at the beginning of the Pirelli races, it not always goes this way, because when you brake so hard there in turn 3, the car gets to slide, and then you maybe have no control and you crash into your opponent. He did it right with his disadvantage that he climbed this sausage on the right, and that's yeah, double failure in the, or double negative effect for him.
I have to say, where the heck has this race gone? We've only got 6.5 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. Christmas, that has gone so quickly. There's so much going on in this race. So, it is Ernst Kirchmeier, Sven Schirmer and Karl Runefeld. Karl Runefeld, though, has got a huge time penalty, which should bring Tibor Valent into it. Car 133, the time penalty of 5 seconds is deleted after further investigation. So, that means that Charles Chan will hold on to his P2 place. It's John Roux, Charles Chan and Boris Gideon. I just wonder now whether Formula Racing will be on the radio to Charles Chan and say, right, put the pedal to the metal, because you can win this race now, because that time penalty is going to be rescinded. So, come on, let's go for it here. So, Jean Roux all of a sudden might be in strife. I mean, what is the gap between Jean Roux and Charles Chan? 7 tenths.
To be honest,
yes,
and I'm honest always, in my opinion, it's 2 laps too early to say it to him
right
at this stage, because also the tires are in a deck position, and the driver, if you say you can pedal to the metal, he will do so.
Okay.
But if you wait 2 more laps and then you say with 0.5 seconds, 5 tenths, then it can really, you can achieve this victory. And now Akatsu did it.
Wow. Oh, but Paolo Scudieri was very clever there, because he realized that Shintaro Akatsu was going to overshoot, and he just took his time and just came back underneath the car of Shintaro Akatsu. So
it's what exactly you said, 2-3 lines are possible.
It was great to see that, and great driving from both of the drivers. Healthy respect between both of them. Let's see it again. Let's rerun the fun here. Shintaro Akatsu to the inside. Paolo Scudieri knows he's there, knows that he's carrying too much speed. He's never going to be able to scrub it off. He says bye-bye and accelerates away. Thank you. That was great to see all over again. And the Ripardo Corsa Ram, you can see Felix Herziger in there.
I was talking to him when we went out of the grid. The doctor got 5 seconds, and now it's the 101.
It's Paolo Scudieri picking up a time penalty now. So all of a sudden, that means Shintaro Akatsu hasn't got to work too hard. Stefano Guy is driver coach to Paolo Scudieri. So Shintaro Akatsu will be aware of the fact that the time penalty is going to be awarded to Paolo Scudieri, as Shintaro Akatsu dives to the inside line now, dives out of it. So, whoa! I was looking at the timing screen. What happened? Was he on his own, Oliver?
First, Paolo Scudieri was too fast. Then he lost the back, and then hopefully he can rejoin the track. No, he's driving back.
Let's see it again.
Turn 1. That's
just lost the back.
Oversteering.
Yep.
The back came, and then luck in that moment. But I think he crashed too much. The right rear.
Do you think that was the pressure from Shintaro Akatsu playing on his mind? And
mentally yes. and maybe he was thinking where to go to defend uphill. But that's a learning you have to accept in motorsport. Just think about where you are and not where you maybe be in 10 seconds.
Here comes Ernst Kirchmayr then to put another lap in the book, as he does. And his gap is 9 seconds over Sven Schirmer. Here is Ernst Kirchmayr going through turn 1 right now. You can see just how vulnerable you can be through turn number 1. You've just got to run an inch or two over in that runoff area, and that can kick the back end of the car out, and that's what happened. And we saw that to Paolo Scudieri, which is such a shame because there was a really good battle between him and Shintaro Akatsu.
Something we have to accept for this race. The first and second place at the moment are so proper in case of driving. No track limits at the moment.
You're absolutely right. 2 drivers with no track limits issues are Ernst Kirchmayr and Sven Schirmer. To be fair, though, pretty much all the drivers, with the exception of Stephen Earle and also Paolo Scudieri, their track limits excursions, those have been penalised, but many others on 1 or 2 track limit warnings. Sven Schirmer not, though. He's kept it within the white lines for the entire race, as indeed has Ernst Kirchmayr, as that is Paolo Scudieri walking away from his car. And great shame, because honestly it was a really good battle between him and Shintaro Akatsu, and there's Stefano Guy, then his driver coach, he'll be disappointed, I'm sure, but they are a really good combination. So here is our race leader heading up towards turn number 1, and here comes P2, Sven Schirmer. Now, Oliver, forgive me saying this, of course, for Sven Schirmer, knowing that Ernst Kirchmayr has not committed to a full season campaign with regards to the Shell Championship, are we too early to be thinking about banking points for the championship? Because Sven Schirmer will consider that Ernst Kirchmayr is not a competitor in the long-haul championship, because Ernst has already said that he's not going to be able to do every race.
Yeah, that's maybe good for Sven, but in case of the championship, it's good that he's here, because otherwise there would not be any opponent.
That's Henrik Hamstrup having gone around in the 113 car.
Maybe he can go directly into the...
No, he's not going into the pits. He's coming back out again, so he wants to continue.
Okay. What I wanted to say after
here's
this...
what happened.
Yeah.
And again, it's just, you know, I mean, tyre deck is at its greatest now towards the end of the race, isn't it? Good avoidance by Lisa Clark, who we can see coming around that turn. Here's the 155 car of Fritz Muller that we could see, who's running P10 in the race overall, but P5 in class. Good showing from Fritz. And Boris Gideon and Shintaro Akatsu, this is for P3. And Shintaro...
Last chance, final lap.
Yes.
Just to finalize, the pressure from Ernst Kirchmayr to Sven Schirmer is really good for the Hamburg guy, because now you see that he really is concentrated and wants to fight. Otherwise, we saw it in the qualifying and in testing the last days, when he has not the opponent, then he's struggling a bit, and that's why he could be happy that he has a strong opponent with Ernst Kirchmayr.
Oh, there's a whale tail there for Shintaro Akatsu, who manages to hold on to it under pressure from Fritz Muller right behind. How did Shintaro Akatsu hold on to that and save that? But he did. But now Fritz Muller will keep the pressure on as they go through the turn 3. Muller gets an excellent exit. This could be a change for P4, as Fritz Muller and Shintaro Akatsu absolutely side by side here. And Fritz Muller and Shintaro Akatsu. Fritz Muller surely with the inside line, but Shintaro Akatsu tries to go around the outside here. Fritz Muller cuts a little bit of the grass on behalf of the groundkeeper here at the Spielberg circuit. They remain side by side. This is brilliant racing in the Ferrari Challenge from our Coppa Shell Am drivers, Shintaro Akatsu and Fritz Muller. How many turns have they been side by side as Ernst Kirchmayr heads towards the checkered flag to take the win? ahead of Sven Schirmer. Then it will be Karl Runefeld on track, but it will be Tibor Valent that will take the P3. And because of the time penalty for Karl Runefeld, John Roux wins for the Shell Am drivers ahead of Charles Chan, and Shintaro Akatsu loses out to Fritz Müller, who does get to the checkered flag. What a brilliant few side-by-side corners that was. Wow.
Perfect.
All
racing.
came together right at the end, did it? Oh.
And he would be happy. 2 times on pole, 1 victory, twice on podium. That's perfect. That's what he wants, and that's why he is here at his home race. And yeah, Ernst Kirchmeier, that's racing, and with this experienced driver here at his home race, it's not a big surprise, but you have to fulfill the mission, and he did perfectly. And John Roux, also great racing.
I agree.
Back on podium. Holding away the most experienced one, the von Skeltema car.
Look at this. I mean, Shintaro saved it. It was a whale tail in a moment. But that is what played into the hands of Fritz Müller.
Sure.
Look at that. How did he save that? That is awesome driving skill, in my opinion.
This is car control.
Car control. Any other driver like me or you would have binned it, wouldn't we? Well, certainly me. Brilliant driving. Well done to them both. What a race that really was.
And the final stage was really entertaining again. Compromised by the tire deck, of course, but it's
part of racing. It is part of racing, to be fair, you know.
Mr. Camouflage is already at the stage.
Danilo Del Favreau, Mr. Camouflage, you're right. That was, really enjoyable. So, Ernst Kirchmeier then, and of course, Jean Roux winning for the AM drivers ahead of Charles Chan, who had a time penalty and then a time penalty rescinded, which doesn't happen that often, to be honest. Ernst Kirchmeier is congratulated there.
And it's great to see how he improved compared to yesterday, where he got a penalty for track limits, and today
for repeated track limits problems.
Yeah. And now not only 1 track limit in this race.
No, absolutely.
And here you see Mr. Hamburg Seafood, the sea bear, as we call him.
Right. I don't. You might. You know him better than I do.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine for him, because he looks like and he feels like, and
he looks like Father Christmas, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Well, to all our drivers, including Jean Roux, Jean Roux has had a fantastic weekend and deserves all the accolades, to be honest with you. We'll bring you the results in full in just a moment, but that was a really, really good Coppa Shell and Coppa Shell Am race. Confirmation of the classification: Ernst Kirchmeier, Sven Schirmer, Tibor Valent, the top 3 for our Shell drivers. For our Am drivers, Jean Roux, Charles Chan and Boris Gideon. Those are the drivers that you will see on the podium. They headed Fritz Müller, Shintaro Akatsu and Masaru Yaneda. Then it was Karl Runefeld, Ken Sato, Stephen Earle, Eric Chung, and Khaled Boudai, who's had a really creditable performance this weekend. Well done, Khaled. Alexei Komarov, Tommy Linderoth, Leon Rimbeek, Lisa Clark, Henrik Kamstrup, Alwas Meyer, and Paolo Scudieri ahead of Giuseppe Romelli. That's the way it looked. As I say, an awesome race from all of our drivers. So the drivers that we'll be seeing on the podium then, and the cars that took them there. This is Ernst Kirchmeier, of course. We'll be hearing from him in due course, because Ludovica will be trying to catch up with him. And sure enough, she's got hold of him. Let's hear from Ernst Kirchmeier.
Ernst, congratulations. What an incredible race for you. 0 second of penalty, 0 track limits, so a clear and a solitary way until the end. So I want to discover with you, what are you feeling now to win at your home circuit?
Yeah, it's really a great moment, unforgettable, because it's the home race. And yesterday I tried the same, but I made a lot of track limits. I think I didn't listen enough to the briefing because it was only on one corner. So anyway, today no track limits, and car was amazing. Kessel made a super setup. And I would like to say thank you to Marcello. He's today celebrating his 40th birthday. Hopefully I can say this because it's not a woman. I know for a woman we don't say the age, but for men 30 years is the best age, of course. And so thank you so much to Kessel and to Marcello too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Marcello. A member of the communications team was guessing my age earlier on in the day.
Yeah, you are. Next year you have the 40s.
It didn't go very well. It didn't go very well. We will be hearing also from Jean Roux for Kessel Racing. So once again, it's double bubble for Kessel Racing, who win in both Shell and Shell Am.
John, congratulations to victory here and one pole position. As you say, yesterday you at the start of the race you made a lot of mistakes, but today you made a very clear race. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. To be honest, I'm still processing. It has been a difficult week, rain, dry, and slippery, somewhere in between. And again, Kessel Racing has provided me with the perfect car, and I thank everyone at the team. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How nice when the team is so thanked. Let's go racing. Ferrari Challenge, Coppa Shell style, with a mix of Shell and Shell Am drivers, and as if the tarmac were not wide enough, some having to take to the grass and then to the runoff area into turn number one. Sven Schirmer running quite wide, Ernst Kirchmeier keeping it mean and keen, and Eric Chung losing the back end of the car. Very, very good avoidance by a number of drivers. Masaru Yaneda going around here and just making contact with the barriers. Ernst Kirchmeier continuing to lead for the Coppa Shell drivers, and what a battle between Shintaro Akatsu here and Paolo Scudieri going into turn three, with Shintaro Akatsu running just a bit wide. That allows Paolo Scudieri to come back here. Eric Chung, of course, having to make up, having gone around earlier on in the race. And Ernst Kirchmeier and Paolo Scudieri would be another driver to find the back, overtaking the front of his 296 Challenge car. And Henrik Kamstrup all on his own as well, finding the back quicker than the front. And Fritz Müller and Shintaro Akatsu having something of a ding-dong battle here, and this would be for P3 and P4 in the race potentially. And side by side through 2-3 corners, but Ernst Kirchmeier took the win for the Shell drivers. Jean Roux took the win for the Shell Am drivers. And there the race statistics across both Coppa Shell and Coppa Shell Am. 22 overtakes in Shell Am. Not every race series can bring you as much action as that, and that was really, really good. That was a overtake per lap. Okay, we'll be heading up to the podium next.
Second podium, second race, Shell main series, third on the podium, Tibor Valint.
So Tibor Valint will take his place on the
second
podium.
driver on the podium, Sven Schirmer. And the winner is Ernst Kirchmeier.
The top step with the Austrian home race winner. And so
Team
we listen
Kessel
to the
Racing
Austrian
near the
hymn,
podium.
and congrats to him.
National anthem.
Here it comes.
Our class of the winners,
There is Sven Schirmer's driver coach to his was Andrea Gagliardini to the right-hand side, though, the team boss.
No, the boss from Penske Sportwagen Hamburg, and he's responsible for all the drivers as well. Sven Schirmer, Danilo Del Faveo, and some of the Ferrari Club Challenge drivers as well. He stays here.
Giancarlo Fisichella then, Ferrari driver ambassador, making the trophy presentations to all of our drivers.
And now, please, drivers, all drivers on the
Everyone
first
gets together for the photographs. So Ernst Kirchmeier, Sven Schirmer and Tibor Valent with Giancarlo Fisichella in the mix as well. And of course, Kessel Racing receipt of the Coppa Team's trophy.
Okay, and now
who will win the champagne race, in my opinion, is going to be Tibor Valent.
Yes.
Well, that was a bit of a, to be fair, it was
big advantage for him.
He was kind of doing it before I even said it. So,
but Valent was, to be honest, it was a calm race, but he recovered after a really bad start.
Yes.
And with P3, I think he's very satisfied.
I think you're right. And that is the car that took him to P3, the car that took Sven Schirmer to P2. You can see here for Penske Sportwagen Hamburg. Well done to Sven Schirmer. And of course, on the top step of the podium, he made no mistakes today. No track limits, which he freely admits was completely down to him. And that's why he is P1, Ernst Kirchmeier. Let's take a look right now at the position of the points for our Ferrari Challenge Coppa Shell and Coppa Shell drivers. In the Shell Drivers' Championship, Sven Schirmer leading by 17 points over Tibor Valent, and then it's Eric Chung P3. Now, Fons Skelterma's moved up a place. Jan Sandman moves down a place. Up to Ernst Kirchmeier, down one Ken Sato, up to Karl Runefeld. So Sven Schirmer is leading in the Coppa Shell Drivers' Championship. Of course, we'll take a look at the Coppa Shell AM Drivers' Championship as well. After their podium, and here it comes. Boris Gideon then taking P3, and he'll dedicate this to his team that repaired the car yesterday.
Podium from Hong Kong, Charles Chan.
Here comes Charles Chan then to take step 2 of the podium.
And the winner from Korea, Jean Ryu.
Here comes Jean Ryu, who takes P1. And once again, Kessel Racing represented as Coppa Team.
And now national anthem. Beautiful picture from Spielberg circuit. Giancarlo Fisichella, Ferrari ambassador driver.
Michele Mambelli doing the announcements up there on the podium as Giancarlo Fisichella makes the trophy presentation right now. To our P3 driver, Boris Gideon. Charles Chan in receipt of his P2 trophy, but on the top step of the podium and in receipt of trophy number 1.
For
Jean Ryu.
Giancarlo Fisichella, and the trophy for the
Coppa Team trophy will be awarded to Kessel Racing. Everyone together for the photographs right now.
All on the podium, please. And the full driver, lift your trophy. Okay.
Oh, Boris, a bit more. Come on, enthused, please.
And now, wait a second. The guests can leave the podium. Okay.
He's trying to hold on to Giancarlo there.
Okay.
Before the champagne. It's going to be Charles Chan who's going to win that race, I can tell you.
And now the countdown.
Right, Charles Chan's going to do
3, 2,
it. No,
1,
Boris Gideon. Boris Gideon. Well done to all 3 drivers then. Boris Gideon for Riller and Schnauk, and he credits the team for repairing the car. He takes P3. Taking P2, having had a time penalty rescinded, the Formula Racing driver Charles Chan. Well done, Charles. no dispute in the winner. Once again, the Kessel Racing driver, Jean Rieu. So we'll take a look at the Drivers' Championship right now for our Coppa Shell Am drivers. And this is how it looks then. Jean Rieu has moved up 2 places to lead the championship now by 1 point over Charles Chan, and then is Boris Gideon merely 2 points behind. This Coppa Shell Am Drivers' Championship with Shintaro Akatsu and Henrik Kamstrup still in the mix is going to be fantastic. Up 5 places, Fritz Muller, he's done a good job as well. So, yes, this Coppa Shell Am Drivers' Championship is going to be very, very exciting for the rest of the season. Have no doubt about that. Awesome stuff. So there we have it then. Our Coppa Shell and Coppa Shell Am drivers have raced here at the Spielberg circuit and raced very well indeed. Hope you've enjoyed the race as much as we have. It's been absolutely fantastic as we take a look at some of the highlight shots of the images that we can bring you from the Ferrari Challenge Coppa Shell and Coppa Shell Am, including some nice camera art from some of our camera operators who work so very, very hard, but in weather conditions today that are somewhat nicer, in fact, all weekend long than we expected. But to you, thank you so much for watching. Stand by, Trofeo Pirelli Racing still to come. From us here now, bye-bye for now.